G'day guys, hope you're having an awesome day. I'm out here getting some sun. The wind just kind of picked up randomly, but that's going to be alright. This week we have a question from Trent. And I was talking to Trent earlier in the week. He's been absolutely killing his diet, looking really awesome. Strength gains have gone up. But his question was basically, if we were to keep calories the same, keep everything the same, but say swap out a healthy carb source or a healthy food for the same equivalent of calories for something else, so let's say swapping out sweet potato for low-fat ice cream or something like that, would that have an effect? Would that make a difference in your overall results? Now, obviously, we can break that down. Like when we talk about results, we could be talking about body composition or health. So if we start with body composition, I guess there's a few things that we need to look at. It's probably not going to have an effect directly, and that may shock some of you. But the evidence to date pretty much shows that when we keep energy balance equivalent and we get sufficient protein, so if we match protein between conditions, where the food comes from actually doesn't have like a massive effect on body composition. Now, it probably does have an effect, but not a massive effect. And there's been a few people over the years that have kind of shown this through their own kind of N=1 studies. So I put a video below of a guy who basically subsisted on Ben & Jerry's ice cream, alcohol and protein shakes for about 100 days. And he actually lost weight during that time and his health markers improved. And I'll get to that in point 2. So is kind of swapping out some of those foods for energy dense foods going to have a direct effect? Probably not. Now, before you all kind of start, just eating the ice cream diet, what we need to consider is the indirect effects. And what I mean by this is if we start subbing in too many of those type of foods, so energy dense type foods, eventually we start kind of pushing out nutrient dense foods, which isn't going to be great from health, but I'll get to that in a point. The main thing is that because they're energy dense, the total volume of food is going to be a lot lower when you're eating kind of those junk type foods that are quite calorie dense. And that's going to make hunger increase. It's going to make cravings increase. They tend to be hyperpalatable, which just means that they're harder to regulate your intake of. So from an indirect manner, having too many of those foods makes it a lot harder to stick to your energy budget, which therefore can affect your overall results. So what I suggest in that case is, like, yes, you can substitute those things in as long as they're accounted for, but it's probably not a great idea to get a lot of your calories from them just because you're going to be hungry. You're probably going to increase cravings for those type of foods and that kind of thing. And you've got to think about long-term habits as well. Cool. So if we then think about from a health perspective, obviously we know that kind of getting the majority of our food from nutrient dense options is important, and that's going to have a lot to do with what I just talked about, is just helping us meet our energy budget, because realistically in today's environment it's probably less likely that we're going to have ill health due to nutrient deficiencies. Maybe you and me and the people that are kind of fairly active and trying to improve our health, not so much. But the general public, like, probably the worst thing we can do for our health is actually have excess body fat. So as soon as we do something that reduces our body fat, even dieting, we actually see a lot of our health markers improve, whether that's blood pressure, insulin sensitivity, blood lipids, those kind of things all tend to improve when we see body fat loss. So again, it will make a bigger difference on health, but even just losing weight is going to go a long way there. The main thing, I guess, for us in terms of health is, like I said, that nutrient density, making sure that we're functioning optimally, that we're not creating any deficiencies, and again, just helping us hit that energy budget consistently, because it is so much easier to hit that energy budget consistently when we are eating whole foods, because we're getting a large volume of food. So I hope you guys found that interesting. I thought it was a really awesome question. It kind of made me rethink a few things. Well, not rethink, but kind of collaborate all my ideas in one place. So if you guys have any questions, remember to ask me. And if you specifically want me to do a video, then just specifically say it, and I'm sure I can film something for you. Awesome. Have a good one.